Hello, sports fanatics. Welcome back to the Sports Fanatic Podcast. I am your host, Skylar, the Sports Fanatic. We are here, episode 5. I can't believe we're already 5 in, but today's episode, Rodgers arrives in Pittsburgh. We got a slight shift in the show. I know last week I mentioned this show would be centered around the Lakers and LeBron, and we're going to talk them. But we're going to start with the breaking news first, then jump into the Lakers. A little shift in the show due to the news breaking. We'll get into the Phillies, who will sadly get there when we get there. Then we have some other sports news, as we do here on the show, to end it and wrap it up. But to start the show today, jumping right in to a guy who's not going to come back to Pittsburgh, but a guy who has arrived, finally, here in Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers. He signs the contract, inks the deal. He is here. We knew it was coming. It's been talked about. It's been eye-rolled about. We've been sick of hearing about it. We've been excited to hear it. It's finally time to just be excited that we know what the final lineup here is looking like. We finally have a clearer image of who's going to lead this team. And I was okay with Mason Rudolph. I was. But Aaron Rodgers feels like the icing on the cake. And I'll tell you what, a year, $13.65 million. But I'm expecting Aaron Rodgers to come out like the bad guy that he used to be. Like the bad man that Stephen A. Smith is known for calling him. Analysts are going back and forth. Some are saying it's not going to make that much of a difference because we've seen Rodgers the past few years. Others are saying, get your popcorn, get ready. I'm here to say Steelers fans definitely get excited because I think he's coming with a vengeance. I think he's coming ready to prove that at 41, I can do this just like Tom Brady did. And that whether this is his last rodeo or not, let's make it a good one. Let's make it a good one. All the analysts want to bet against you? Let them. Let them. This is going to be an exciting year. Week 1, he meets the team he just left, the Jets. Come on, it was already going to be a good game because we talked about this a few weeks ago on the show where analysts said the Steelers are going to start 0-6, and I couldn't believe that take. Like, that's a ridiculous take to me. And we start week 1 with the Jets team who's going to be trying to figure it out with Justin Fields. Now, don't get me wrong. Are we going to be trying to figure it out with Aaron Rodgers? Of course. And we're a little bit more behind the 8 ball because he's only joining here right before mandatory minicamps, but I think we always kind of knew that was going to be the deal. He's never really been a free agent before, so he wanted to take his time, get some things in order, do some stuff like that. And nobody has more patience in front offices than Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll make fans and everybody else sit right on the edge of the seat until the very last minute. It's even the way they play games. When we play teams that we should just blow out of the water, we don't. We keep it interesting because that's the way it has to be here in Pittsburgh for some reason. We just got to keep it interesting. We can't just go out there and make the stamp moves, although we did with DK, which was great. And we'll get into here, real quick. We'll just take a look at the new look offense. Now that Rodgers has signed, I mean, it's a little unfortunate for Mason Rudolph. I will say that because he's been here the whole offseason. We brought him back. He was starting to look like the leader again. I know that he said, when asked, that nothing changes for him. The approach is the same. I mean, he's been in this position before where he's been the backup, and he's overcome a lot of it. He said he's got one more week of practice coming up before mandatory mini camps come, and then, everybody will be in the building together and it'll get a real feel for what the team's going to be like with everybody in the room together. And boy, That'll be exciting to talk about when we finally get there. But, you know, Rudolph is going to do what he's done his whole career, and that's continue to be ready when called upon. And I fully believe that. And that's exactly what you want to hear out of the backup. I don't want to see him moping around. I don't. Because then obviously he's got to go, and I don't want him to go. I like Rudolph. Rodgers, I'm excited to see it, but we saw what happened last season with the Jets. Not very good. Season before that, one and done. So, I mean, let's get excited. Let's see, what's going to happen with Rudolph and Rodgers, and just hope that both come to play and both provide whatever is going to be needed out of them. The lineup, though, I mean, guys, this is exciting. We just talked about the quarterbacks. Rodgers, Rudolph. I like it. Beautiful tandem there. Whoever's behind him, this is a great opportunity for Will Howard, the young man, to learn. Skylar Thompson, he's also a young man. I mean, let him in the room too. Just both of them. Let him soak up the knowledge from Aaron Rodgers, the obvious vet, and Rudolph, who is getting to vet status now. He's been around the block plenty of times. Just had a stint with the Titans. Not a terrible job there. So the quarterback room is looking kind of exciting. You got to be... I'm starting to get a little giddy with excitement. Move to the running back position. Jaylen Warren, I mentioned on the show before, I was sad to see Najee go. I was sad to see him go. But I'm also excited about Jaylen Warren because every time this guy touches the football, it's almost a guaranteed positive play. I mean, there's not very many negative plays in this guy's record books. He's constantly moving forward, and he's got a very good combination of power and speed. He can run a hole through you, or he can get around you and run past you. So I think Jaylen Warren is going to be a really good 1A. The kid coming up, who we drafted, Caleb Johnson from Iowa. I think he's going to play a huge role in this. We love grabbing really good young running backs and just running them into the ground till they demand a lot of money and then letting them go off to try to find the money somewhere. And sometimes those guys do. Le'Veon Bell, Najee Harris, all these greats who have come and performed amazingly their first handful of years, and then once we feel like we've gotten the mileage out of you, we just kind of let you fade off before we got to pay you big dollars. Will that be the story for Caleb Johnson? Obviously, we'll see. But I love the tandem, 1A, 1B. I think these two are going to be great. I haven't seen, a whole lot of Caleb Johnson because I don't watch as much college football as I intend on watching this next season coming up. But I saw a handful of his highlights. I'm excited. I'm excited, man. This is going to be a really cool duo in the backfield. Wide receiver, I know that people are questioning where the ball's going to go, whose Rodgers' targets are going to be. And obviously we know DK. What an exhilarating year it's going to be to see Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to DK. I mean, come on. The back shoulders, the high arcers, I mean, the downfield bombs. Rodgers, warm that arm up, warm that cannon up, because this is going to be Robert Woods behind him. I mean, coming over from the Bears, not a scrub. Is he the best 1B? Maybe not, but I'm excited to see what Robert Woods can bring. I'm excited. He had a pretty good stint in Chicago. He was ready for more, and I think he's going to get more here. Obviously DK is going to get targeted a lot, so these guys behind him are going to have to step up. Have to answer the bell. Calvin Austin III. I think he takes a big step forward this season. Him and guys like Rowan Wilson have to take a big step forward this season. There's no questioning it. Because DK is going to get his targets, he's going to get them. But he's also going to get double covered, triple covered, quadruple covered, everybody covering him, because he's such a good receiver and a good target. I mean, over the past few seasons, I believe he's had past 3 seasons, he's had like 6, 8, 6 touchdowns. Those have been like his past 3 seasons. He's due for a blowout season, DK. He's due for one. He's due for it. And maybe this is it right here. Him and Aaron Rodgers maybe so good this year that it inspires Rodgers to come back for one more rodeo next season. And let Will Howard learn a little more for, another season. Tight end, good old Pat, the new Heath Miller. I'm not worried about Pat. I think he continues to take steps forward this season. The big guy behind him, I think we're good. I think we're good at tight end. Tight end doesn't worry me too much. The offensive line, we talked about it when we broke down this roster before, but, Jones, Isaac, Frazier, McCormick, Fatua. I mean, come on. These guys are going to be studs as long as they show up and remain healthy. Health is always an issue here in Pittsburgh. Now, I know the health bug bites a lot of teams, but especially here in Pittsburgh, it always bites at the perfect time for us to lose everything we've worked for. It's time for that to change this season. Everybody's got to stay healthy, stay on the mission, and this has got to be a Super Bowl run for Tomlin and the Steelers. It's got to be. For Rodgers and Tomlin. Tomlin especially because of his tenure here in Pittsburgh and people getting antsy for him not to be here in Pittsburgh, even though he's never had a losing season. But 9-year playoff drought win. I mean, 9 years, guys. It's a long time. It's a long time. So it's got to change. It's got to change. Almost my entire adult life I've spent watching the Pittsburgh Steelers lose playoff games. That's just awful. Just awful. And I don't want to see Tomlin go. I love Mike T. Such a great coach. Brings a great standard. Lets the guys be them while reining them in some. Now, does he let some guys go too far? Maybe a little bit. But what a great coach. No losing seasons, Super Bowl champion. I mean, again, we're working towards another one here, and it has to be. It has to be a championship run this season. There's no questions asked, especially for some of the vets on this team. TJ Watt deserves to get a Super Bowl trophy, as well as Cam Hayward. Before Cam Hayward rides off into the sunset, I want to see him win a Super Bowl trophy. I have to see him win one. So he's got to ride off into the sunset as a champion. And this is it. I think it's Super Bowl or bust this season. It has to be. Super Bowl or bust this season. Has to be. Has to be. So you guys let me know. Let me know. Let me know how excited you are. Are you excited to see Aaron Rodgers? Would you rather have seen Rudolph lead this team? I mean, how do you feel? I'm excited. I think this is finally going to be our year. I think Rodgers has got to bring an attitude with him. He's got to bring that bad man attitude. He's got to. Got to. And if he does, again, this is our year, guys. The Steelers are going to be Super Bowl champions. And if they're not at least in the Super Bowl, I think Mike T is finally on the hot seat. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Moving on. Now that we got the big news out of the way, we'll move on to the topic that we were going to focus a little bit on. Was going to be kind of the main focus of the show, and it still kind of will be, just maybe not as in detail as I wanted it to be, but still in details here, is our Lakers. And I'm going to explain first why. I mean, I did in episode 1, but I'll explain again here too, just so we understand each other, why I am a fan of the teams that I am such a fan of. The Lakers, I'm a fan of them really because of LeBron James. I really kind of got into basketball like maybe 3 or 4 seasons ago. That's when I really started watching almost every game highlight that I could in the mornings when I was getting ready for the gym and everything. And I love LeBron James. I just love me some LeBron James. So I kind of gravitated towards him and whatever team he was playing for. Lakers obviously being that team. So I've been, riding the Laker train for a while. You call me what you want. My main teams are Philly teams, except in the exception of the Steelers, where I had a brother who was a diehard Steelers fan growing up, and I gravitated towards that. So much. So that's kind of why I'm all over the spectrum. But, here in the NBA, been following the Lakers now for the past few seasons, waiting for that LeBron championship to come again. After the last championship, it's just been a disappointing run for the Lakers. It really has been. And, when we look at the team last season, it looked like it was going to be an exciting run. 50-32, finished third in the West. You got a nice playoff spot. End up drawing Minnesota, who I think was beatable. Just maybe a little too big for us here in LA. And we'll touch on that in a minute. But again, this was JJ Redick, getting his feet wet. A great season as a coach. Great. I'm excited to see what he continues to do. And I think he brings such a great element to the team. 19th in points per game. Got to be better next season. Got to be. You got to be top 10. I'm going to argue. Maybe not top 10 to win you got to be top 10. I think top 10 to win the title kind of has to be there. Opponents' points per game, they were 10th, which is fairly good. That's what you want. I kind of want you to be, in those realms where you keep guys lower in points. It's got to come down a little. Your team's averaging at least 112 on you. You got to try to bring that down a little bit, but that all comes around the center position too, which we'll dive into in a little bit here. They were just, they just fell short. Get to the first round and fall short, and I can't say that the season was a waste. It feels like it is. I know it does. But, in reality, the guys came to play for a long period of this. LeBron, continuing to dominate as the points leader, just continuing to grow that lead. 42,000 career points. That's insane. Nobody's touching that. Honestly, nobody's touching that. Nobody. I don't think anybody's ever going to have a career where they touch that. I know guys shoot more threes now than ever before, but man, that's a long career. That's a lot of minutes. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of traveling, and guys have to be, can guys do that nowadays? Do guys want to do that nowadays? Is a big question in that, part of it too. And the season was full of fun things. The Luka trade happened. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. People say even AD didn't see that coming, but I just don't believe that a trade of that magnitude just kind of drops out of the sky. I just don't believe that kind of just happens. You know what I mean? I think that they had to know at least a little bit of something before it happened. And then the bombshell happens and Luka comes here. We lose AD, which big tragedy, obviously, leaves a big hole in the middle. But you get one of the top, I'm going to say 3 players in the NBA in Luka Doncic, who just finished taking a Dallas Mavericks team to the NBA Finals and is a stud. He was hurt a little bit this past season. He needed to work on getting back from that, got to work on getting in shape. But, man, after that trade, things got a little bumpy, but they got exciting. This team goes on a tear. They win a bunch of games, a little bumpy down the stretch, but they get what they needed. Third in the West. And again, like we just said, they get there, but they lose to the Timberwolves. And it's a tragedy because I want to see LeBron get one more. I want to see LeBron go get one more chip. I'm a little biased in that sense. I want to see LeBron ride off into the sunset with one more chip under his belt. He deserves it. Come on. He deserves it. Really, he does. And I can, hear the LeBron haters already telling me, no, he doesn't, blah, 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 blah. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. He deserves one more. He's one of the greatest players in NBA history, if not the greatest player in NBA history. Obviously, we're going to have the debate between him and Michael Jordan, but think about, I saw this breakdown the other day, and it was a fabulous breakdown about how, if you think about it, LeBron James has had like 3 Hall of Fame careers in one career. I mean, if you broke down his stints in Miami, if you broke down his stints in Cleveland, if you broke down his stints in LA, each one of those could be a Hall of Fame career for somebody. If you just took those stats from each of those, champion Miami, champion Cleveland, champion LA, if you just take the stats from each of those seasons, give them to somebody else, that's a Hall of Famer, whoever that guy is. And he doesn't have to play 20 years like LeBron James and do it that many times. So for me, that's where I think that the debate kind of ends. He's the greatest of all time. He is. Is it a very close 1 and 2? Yes, maybe even 1A, 1B. But I think he takes it just a little bit. We get into the offseason for the Lakers, not a whole lot of excitement going on around the team yet. Just the team needs to find a center. And I mean, I don't know who that center is going to be. The centers this offseason, Miles Turner, we'll see where he ends up. We'll see what happens in the championships here. If Indy goes on to win, I think he comes back. I think he goes back to Indy either way. Maybe I think they find a way to bring him back, but that would be a cool pickup. Naz Reid, I think he has a player option. He ends up, I think, probably back in Minnesota. I don't think that they let him go, but that's another one. If you could find a way to get him here, there's another big guy to put in there that's not terrible. His stats last year, 14 points per game. Not bad. 6 rebounds a game. We need a two-way player, though, and that's really what the offseason needs to be about for the Lakers, is finding a true center and finding a couple more of good two-way players. We got a lot of guys who can do one thing great. We got a lot of guys who can either play some great defense. We got a lot of guys who can play some great offense. But we need more guys who can do both really, really good or great. Being able to do one of them really good and the other one kind of okay, we don't need that anymore. It's time for this team to really open up that two-way player gap that they're lacking and unlock the next level of the Lakers. Clint Capella, that's a name that's really interesting, been thrown around. He's not terrible. He's a good finisher out of the pick and rolls. He's got some solid shot blocking. I don't think that he's the best in the world, but he's got some solid shot blocking, which we need desperately in the middle. Not bad rebounding on both ends. We need a little bit more of that too, but I think he could be could he be a true 1A? He might do better coming off the bench, but you know what? As a 1A, maybe. Why not? I don't know. I've seen this one thrown around. Obviously, this one's been thrown around a lot, and you see him make the argument on social medias and stuff that he should have come back last season and during the playoff push, and I think they should have, was bring back Dwight Howard. Is he up there in age? Sure. But so is LeBron. Look at Howard. He looks like a stud. Could he go in there and give you 10 minutes? Maybe like 5 to 10 points? Maybe a couple of blocks? Maybe just be a presence? Yes. That's why I don't understand why it didn't happen during the playoffs. It would have been a nice little jolt in the center position. I know we got some contracts that are in some crazy positions, and we got to figure that out. But I think that we got to find a true center. And if we could trade a couple of pieces, I don't want to lose Reeves. I don't really want to lose Hachimura. I'm okay with losing Gabe Vincent, who's been a letdown. We expected so much more out of him, and honestly, just not getting the production that we expected to get when we picked him up. I don't really want to lose Dalton Connect. I think he'll be a great off-the-bench guy if you can fit him into this rotation somehow, playing alongside Luka, Reeves, LeBron. Maybe even rotate him around Reeves so him and Reeves aren't always on the court at the same time, because I feel like they're a little bit of the similar style player. So I think if we could figure out that, I'd love Dalton Connect to stay here, but I know he's got some trade value. I don't know what pieces you put together, but you put together some package and maybe knock on that Mavs door again and say, hey, I know Gafford is either antsy to get out of here or getting out of here. What do you say we do another trade? What do you say? We already shocked the league once with the Luka trade. Why don't we just set a whole blaze to this league again and let's do this trade for Daniel Gafford? It would give us everything we needed in the center. Everything. A solid shot blocker, guy who can get lobs from Luka, played with Luka, knows it, familiar with it. If you could figure out a way to get him here and get him locked in with Luka for the next 6 to 10 years of their careers, what a future the Lakers could have. The pieces around that really don't even matter. LeBron can ride off into the sunset and know that the team is in a much better place with Luka and Daniel Gafford. If they could make that happen, that's my dream center here in LA. Bronny James, I think, has got to take a bit of a step forward this year as well, if he's going to do any kind of walking in his father's footsteps. Any kind of it. He's got to take a leap forward this season, and I think he does. I think more playing time under his belt, more, experience. He can take that next step and hopefully start to maybe look half as good as his dad, because that's really all we need. We need you to just be half of what your dad is, and I think that will make you great. Your dad's the greatest of all time, so if we can just get half of that, you'll be great. So I feel, if we address a couple of those issues, we get a couple of more two-way players, guys who are good on both sides of the court, there's no reason that this team doesn't make a run to the NBA Finals next season. And there should be a very concerted effort to get them to make that run to the NBA Finals. This could be LeBron's last rodeo. He looks so good that we don't know. We'll just have to see how next season plays out on him. But gotta get it before Father Time kicks the door in. I'm sure Father Time has knocked on his door. And, he's cracked it and kind of pushed the door shut a little bit. And Father Time stays right there and keeps on knocking. And the door keeps on getting pushed open further and further. So gotta take advantage of it. It's the same story as the Steelers. The same story. You need to take advantage of these golden opportunities before they're gone. Because once they're gone, they're gone. So this is the time. Next season, I want to see the Pittsburgh Steelers, Lombardi. I want to see the Lakers, NBA champions. Has to be the way the next year goes. We jump into our next topic, and it is our good old Phillies. And boy, who do we shout to? Who do we ask for change to? I don't know what to say. I'm so upset with this team right now. It has just been tough sledding. Just beating the teams you're supposed to beat. And then, of course, when it comes to the teams that are going to give you some fight, what happens? The fight leaves us. And I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it. 2-8 in the last 10. 2-8 in the last 10. Since we last spoke, they've done nothing but lose all of the series, which is just fabulous. I mean, they did win the one against the Braves, but swept by the Brewers. Snuck off one from the Blue Jays before proceeding to get owned by the Blue Jays. And now the Pirates. The Pirates, guys. I don't know what to even say about this team right now. I don't know where to look. I don't know where to turn. I don't know what happened. Bryce Harper goes down with an injury, and it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. Bryce Harper goes down, and 1-6 without him. I mean, he's the heartbeat of the team, apparently. Apparently, he's the everything of the team. He goes down, and we lose all motivation to play. There's stud upon stud upon stud on this team. There is no reason why these guys are not performing. I mean, as I record this, we get the Pirates again in a couple hours. We can't win the series, so it's already a series loss. That's 3 straight series losses. There needs to be some kind of spark lit. There needs to be something. It's been a tough stretch. You can't play like this against good teams, because then that just says that you are not good enough to beat good teams. Dropped all the way down now to 3.5 games behind the Mets. 37-27 on the season. It's starting to look like same old Phillies. Starting to look like same old Phillies. And I don't know where to turn next. The bullpen. It's trying to do its job. It is. But Wheeler, I know he's having a baby. Please come back. Come back. We need you, Wheels. He's the only pitcher who consistently shows up. I don't know what's wrong with Jesus Luzardo. I don't know. He has completely crumbled. Just giving up run after run after run after run to the Brewers. And I just don't know how he gets right. He's got to find a way to shake it off. He was lighting it up to start the season. Ranger Suarez is on a tear. I banged the gavel about this guy a while ago, and I said that ever since his injury, he hasn't looked the same, and he has finally started to look like that Ranger again. He has been mowing him down the past few games, but the guys behind him on offense just aren't getting it done. He deserves better than that. 2-1 loss yesterday to the Pirates, and it was just disappointing. Just a disappointing final, like, I'm sad, I'm disappointed loss. And now I'm worried. You know, you take a couple losses early in the season here, and you're like, all right, no reason to panic, no reason to get anxious, still a little early. It's time. It's time to start hitting panic buttons, because we are looking horrendous. I miss Jose Alvarado. I miss you. Why'd you got to take the stupid drugs, man? Why? Why'd you got to do it? Why couldn't you have done it by the book so that you could be here helping this bullpen? Jordan Romano, I think I'm done with him. You know, we go back and forth between he has a really good outing, he has a really bad outing, he has a really good, he started the season with a 15 ERA. He's brought it down now to about a 7. But I think I'm done with Jordan. We can go ahead and send him off. We got to figure out closing pitching. Got to figure out the back end of that bullpen. We have to figure out who's going to be the answer. Because right now, they can't keep blowing games, but the offense has to come alive somewhere. Where did the bats go, guys? 215 in the last 10 games. As a team. As a team, we're almost batting 200. That's awful. That's atrocious. The bottom of the lineup in yesterday's game was 1 for 15. Oh, man. Like, consistency. I've cried this before. I've cried it before with this team, and I have to cry it more and more. Where is the consistency? One game we're scoring 9 runs. The next game we can't score a run. I don't understand how we're so up and down. I don't. Injuries come and go. You know, guys are getting shuffled around the lineup. Harper gets hurt. Now the dynamite duo in the middle gets shuffled to Bohm and Schwarber. And Bohm's picked it up. I can't be fully upset with him. He's hitting much better than he was at the beginning of the season. But again, we've lost our fire. We've lost our fight back ability. We've lost our want to win. I feel that this team, I know All-Star voting has opened, so the All-Star weekend is going to fastly approach. They need it. They need some time off to get their heads out of their asses. Because we cannot squander this season. We can't squander it. This has to be a playoff run. This has to be a World Series championship team before all the contracts run out and guys start going and things start getting complicated and the team starts looking too different. Gotta win it. Gotta win it. Harper, you gotta bring a trophy here. You have to. I love that you love the city and the Philly Fanatic gear and the color bats and the creativity of all of this and that. I love it. But it's time to win. It's time to win. It's time to be World Series champions. And we have to take advantage of the golden opportunity with the guys that we have before they all start leaving, before more injury-riddled things happen. It has to happen now. It has to be it, guys. It's time to get our heads out of our asses. I don't know what happened, but, it's like we ran into a buzzsaw. The Brewers shattered all of the boys' confidence for some reason. Just shattered it. Series sweep. Blue Jays, Pirates, almost getting swept by both of them. I better hope today is not a sweep. I better hope today that they can turn it around. This week, I know it's been a tough week. It's been ugly. It really has been an ugly week. But, I'm still going to give my Philly of the week. And my Philly of the week is still going to be Trey Turner. And it's going to be Trey Turner because amidst all of the terribleness going on, I know that he's had a couple of defensive oopsies. And I said before that those need to be turned around. They need to change. But he's one of the only guys still showing up batting-wise. He's still batting a 300. Him and Alec Bohm are batting 300s, but Turner's getting it done just a little bit more. He's got 5 RBIs right now over the past 8 games, 2 home runs. He's batting at 300. A .98 on base percentage. The guy is still getting it done offensively. The only one really getting it done offensively. We're going to throw a little bit of respect to Kyle Schwarber, of course, because he's leading the team in everything almost, hitting-wise, because he's just that much of a stud. But, he's got to find his month of June stroke. He's got to find it, because right now he doesn't have it. Don't have it yet. batting a 1.60 in the past 8 games is not great to start off June. I mean, he's got to find his June stroke. June has been his month. June's been his month. So find that stroke and then ride the wave. Ride the wave. Who knows how long Harper's going to be out? I know they put him on a 10-day IL. We'll see after the 10 days. Hopefully everything's good to go and he comes right back and is Bryce Harper. And he's the same old Bryce Harper that we know and love because we need him back. We need you back here for so many reasons. Not just because of your fielding, not just because of your hitting, but because of the fire that you bring to this team when you're out there playing. They need you. They need you. The next series coming up are no more comforting than the last couple. After we get done with the Pirates today, we start a series with the Cubs, who are on fire. 40-24 right now in their season. Can we match up? Can we stack up? Right now, we're proving that we cannot even beat teams who we should be beating. So, I'm anxious. After we finish with the Cubs, we go back to the Blue Jays. So we get a chance at redemption. This series is a chance to prove that the last series was a fluke. So we will see. We will see when we are back here on the show next week how the boys performed. We'll see if we were able to dig our heads out of our butts and finally start to play some baseball again. Not asking for home runs every time, guys. I've said this before. Get back to playing baseball. Simple things. Doing simple things right. Making that simple ground ball play. Making that simple double play. Simply just hitting the ball into the field of play. That's it. That's it. Time to get back to some simple baseball. The Cubs is not going to be an easy series. It's not going to be. But hopefully, we manage to either get a series win or we manage to take two. We manage to at least win a game in the series. If we can at least take 2, that would be great. 1 loss there would be, dynamite to get back to winning some series. When we meet those Blue Jays, when we are sitting at this show next week, we better be talking about them having a series win over the Blue Jays. I don't want to see another loss. Not another one. I know the series is coming up real close. It's real tight. But we got to turn it around. We got to turn it around, guys. It's time for the Phillies to figure it out. Figure it out, boys. Figure it out so that we can get back to looking like a scary team. We were looking like one. I was super excited at the beginning of the season. You watched the first few episodes of the show. We were giddy with excitement watching this team mow through teams. And here we are, disappointed, just hoping that we can turn it around before it's too late. Moving on now from the disappointment that is the old Phillies. We're going to dive in to our next portion of the show, which is our other sports news. We love to tap into everything sports, everything and anything sports here. First, we're going to touch a little bit on the playoffs, see if my predictions are looking good. In the NBA, Pacers Thunder, what a game one. What a game one. And Tyrese Halliburton continues to prove that he's a superstar. He's a superstar, man. He is. Drains the winning bucket. They walk away, game 1 winners, and my prediction, looking good so far. Indy, Pacers fans, are you getting excited yet? Are you excited yet? They go up 1-0, and I thought that it would be hard for them to take any game in OKC because OKC such a great team this year. I mean, at home, man, that stadium intimidating. Wow, you see all those fans stay standing, staring at you till they score that first bucket. That's intimidating stuff, man. So the fans get in on it. But the Pacers, I said it when we talked about this last time, man. They're on a mission. And so many people on that team can beat you. Keep counting out the Pacers. Keep counting them out. Game 2 tonight. I'm excited to see what happens. Pacers counted out again with only a 18% win probability. Man, I know they barely got away with the win in game 1, but their past NBA playoffs, this past playoffs, have been insane. Down by what? 14 with like 6 minutes to go against Cleveland. Come back and win. Down like 10 points with like 6 seconds left and come back and win. I just don't understand how this team has continued to pull things off like this, but they're continuing to be the magic team. And that's what sports are all about, because it's fun to see stuff like this happen. It's fun. Either one of these teams winning this championship is going to be fun. It's going to be awesome for either city. Very disappointing for the other one. I'm heavy rooting Pacers still. You know, my predictions are looking good. I'm up 1-0 here. So let's go, Pacers. Let's continue to create the magic. Let's get it done. Over in the NHL, my prediction was looking good. It was looking real good. Come out game 1, an absolute barn burner of a game. Goes to OT, Oilers find a way, get it done, take the 1-0 win, the 1-0 series lead, the 4-3 win, but a 1-0 series lead. And I'm thinking to myself, all right, my other prediction's looking great, because I didn't think Edmonton would really be able to take any games in Florida. Florida's really good. And, these Panthers, Bobrovsky, He's such a good goalie. He really is. Then they come to game 2. Another absolute barn burner. This one even better than the first. This one goes to double OT this time. Brad Marchand, coming over from the Bruins, gets it done for the Panthers. They take a 5-4 win in this one. And now we're tied. 1-1. Game 3 tomorrow. Excuse me. I got to tell you what, my prediction is still looking good, but I would love it to look even better with a game 3 win. So, Connor McDavid, Oilers, put your foot on the gas pedal. Panthers are putting their foot on the gas pedal, and I hope all these games continue to be like this, man. Let them all go to OT. Could you imagine that the first time in Stanley Cup history, an entire series just goes to OT games? How awesome. How awesome of a series. It's already an awesome series so far. These two teams want it so bad. I think Marchand deserves one. Bobrovsky deserves one. But I'm still sticking with my Oilers to win this one. Come on, McDavid. Bring it home. We love to see new teams win when our teams aren't there. So bring it home. Bring it home. Some other sports news. We're going to shift a little bit to, we love our baseball here. But I also love me some softball. My daughter just finished up her first season. She's only 6, so it wasn't as exhilarating as some of these games are. However, the college Women's World Series just wrapped up. The Texas Longhorns are the champs. They take down Texas Tech in a dominating 10-4 Game 3 victory, and I honestly thought it was going to be a much closer one, but we got to throw respect to Texas Tech. We have to. They have the most legendary pitcher / player in Texas Tech. Well, maybe in Texas Tech history. Maybe not because of good old Patrick Mahomes. But because of their pitcher, Najee Candy, I'm going to butcher that horrifically, so I am so sorry to her. But she was a stud during these playoffs. Having a sub-1 ERA, Jeez. However, I mean, I know that women's softball works a little different and that the starting pitchers can start multiple games in a row during things like this. I think that she should have given the starting job over to somebody else in Game 3 because they already saw her Game 1 and 2, so Texas kind of knew going to Game 3 what they were going to expect. I mean, I know most dominant pitcher of all time, but I would have started somebody else and then brought her in relief. I think that would have worked a little better in Texas' favor, but Texas gets it done, and they secure the title, and it's great. This is a great thing, again, for women's sports, and now these women have a place to go when they're done being studs like this in the College Women's World Series. Now, the MLB has teamed up with the AUSL, which is the Athletics Unlimited Softball League, and I'm exhilarated for this. I'm excited. We got 4 teams. The Bandits, the Blaze, the Talons, the Volts. They're going to deliver 24 professional softball games in 10 major cities with a best-of-3 championship series to come up with a champion at the end of the season. This is awesome. This is awesome for women's sports. This is awesome for women who want to be professional softball players. That's incredible. I hope that my daughter continues to love softball and gets a chance to play in this one day. I hope it just continues to grow. More teams continue to sign on. More women continue to play. And I hope it just continues to grow in popularity, just like the WNBA is finally. You know, they're getting some stars who are making the game more exciting, you know, getting more young girls into some of these sports. And that's awesome. That's exhilarating. Do they need to be as rich or make as much money as the men's sports do? No. But if they're making a living, a comfortable living, being a professional athlete, what's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't at all. Do you need to be paid $78 million a year? Honestly, no. Even the men who get paid that much. Like, yes, anytime you step on a court, a field, get in a ring, anything, there's a little bit of an element, just a little one, where you're putting your life or your career on the line. You are, because anything can happen at any time. Take a ball to the head wrong, something happens to a leg, a ligament, anything. Anything can go wrong in any sport, and it can be the end of a career. So I understand where some of these guys want to get paid, you know, bajillions of dollars, but you really don't need bajillions of dollars. Just a handful of money and then being smart with it, and you can be comfortable forever. But I'm so excited for this. I'm excited to start watching some games. Just kicked off the other week. I haven't gotten a chance to really dive into any highlights yet. I'm going to spend my week diving into some highlights and watching some of this footage and finding these games, where the coverage is and everything. And we're just going to continue to cover the AUSL moving forward in the show. Another thing we're going to do here, I honestly didn't realize this was still on TV yet. I was scrolling through my Roku free channels the other day because when I get bored or when I want to fall asleep, just kind of throw something on in the background. It doesn't have to be anything important. You know, throw on some Deal or No Deal, throw on some game shows. There's something to fall asleep to in the background. While I was going, I found ESPN 8, the Ocho, and I got so excited. I mean, I got giddy. You understand me, the sports fanatic. You can see it now. I'm giddy with excitement just talking about it. So I think moving forward on the show, we're not going to too much dive into one today. It's going to start a little bit more next week, but we're going to start the Ocho Corner. We're going to start diving in to some of the sports covered on ESPN 8 The Ocho, because it covers sports that, aren't as popular as our favorite beloved baseball, football, hockey, golf, tennis. It's not, those sports, but it's sports that I think maybe should get a fair shake and should get a chance to be covered like those sports are. It's got all kinds of sports on it, from air hockey to, robot fighting. I just watched Omega Ball, 3-team soccer. That's intense. Axe throwing, Quidditch. Obviously, they're not flying. It would be way more exciting if they were, but come on. Extreme pogo. Just silly stuff, but also some other sports that you watch them and you're like, whoa, cornhole. You would think to yourself, well, that's just like a party game. I was just watching cornhole highlights in one of the tournaments that was on the Ocho the other day. This woman's making 6 figures. 6 figures being a cornhole player. So why aren't these sports more covered? So you know what? We're going to dive into more. Each week on the show, we're going to pick one sport that is just one of the bizarre, crazy ones on the Ocho. We're going to dive into it. We're going to go over how they play it, the rules of it, the scoring, the players that are in it right now, the teams, where you can watch the footage, where you can find information on it. And it's going to be an exciting segment every week. I'm excited to get it started. Next week, we'll dive in to our first sport. I'm not sure which one we're going to start with because there's just so many to choose from. It might be Omega Ball just because I was just watching that the other day, and thinking of 3 teams trying to go at it in soccer is intense. It's especially intense to watch. So I'm excited to start that next week. I hope you'll be excited to learn about some different and maybe crazy sports that you either didn't hear of before or would have never thought was a sport or a competition out there in the world. But that'll do it for this week. Thank you so much. Next week, we're going to dive more into the Phillies again. Hopefully, they start getting right. Hopefully, we're in a better spot here next week, and we're not as sad and disappointed, but who knows where that cookie's going to crumble. We'll take a deeper look into some of the NFL camps and the start of those things as the NFL season is starting to get cooking. We're starting to get closer and closer to kickoff. We're under 100 days, so we're excited for the season. Like I just mentioned, we're going to talk more about the AUSL. We're going to keep talking about professional softball because I'm excited to see the growth of it and where it could go. Get some more on the playoffs. Hopefully my predictions are still looking good. Hopefully the Pacers are that much closer to becoming an NBA champion. Same with the Oilers becoming Stanley Cup champions. And then the start of the Ocho Corner, where we're going to dive into a sport. I can't wait. I'm super excited. Like I said, I don't know which one we're going to start with, but it's going to be exciting. Let me hear your thoughts down below. Do you agree with any of my takes? Do I just sound like a total fanatic, maybe a total crazy person? You let me know. Leave a like, leave a sub. See you next time.